welcomes Trinidad and Tobago to our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited. I'm Nicola Barreto. Let's take a look at the headlines. National Security Minister strongly pledging to do everything necessary to put a dent on crime in Trinidad and Tobago. Local government minister calling on regional corporations to take their role as overseers of the various districts more seriously. And the Honorable Sports Minister opens up about the Hoop for Life initiative. Thank you for joining us. National Security Minister, the Honorable Jack Warner, is strongly pledging to do everything necessary to put a dent on crime in Trinidad and Tobago. He was addressing scores gathered at the launch of the police service community-based programs, where Police Commissioner Dwayne Gibbs was also present.
A firm promise and assurance being made by the National Security Minister, who is announcing his commitment to fighting crime in this country. Minister Warner says he will do everything in this country to get the crime levels down. He also had a message for Police Commissioner Dr. Dwayne Gibbs.
Anything you can do to reduce crime in this country, Commissioner, I shall be your friend. But I tell you openly, if the crime in this country does not go down, I shall be every policeman's enemy. At the end of the day, this country holds all of us accountable. And let me tell you very quickly, crime in this country is not the remit of the police alone, you know. Crime in this country is the remit of all of us, because all of us have a part to play. And we also have to begin religion, education, family life, sport, and that's why Anil is here. And if you believe you have seen sport play a role in crime fighting, I tell you today, you ain't seen nothing yet. At the end of the day, we shall take back our streets, block by block, street by street. We are telling the criminals in this country that we have drawn a line in the sand. We say enough is enough.
Minister Warner is highlighting one of his main agendas as building the trust of the communities in the police service. He says this initiative is critical to the effective functioning of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service.
My role as a minister is to help to develop the police service to what it had been in the old days. To the old days when there was trust and belief and love and a good relationship. Those were the days, my friend, when crime was at an all-time low.
Meanwhile, Police Commissioner Dwayne Gibbs is urging communities to collaborate with the police service in order to assist in reducing crime. He says initiatives such as youth clubs will provide an avenue to enable community members to become involved in crime fighting.
Expectations are high with the rollout of the Community Police Caravan. We anticipate an increase in youth club membership, as the youth will see the police youth club as a viable alternative to gang membership or other deviant behavior. We also expect that the greater collaboration and cooperation between the police and the communities will result in a decrease in criminal activities across our 9 policing divisions. We know that the police cannot be everywhere, and neither with our partnership with the Ministry of National Security and the different agencies within that ministry can we provide perfect, secure communities. But you, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, can extend your presence significantly by your participation and engagement in activities with the police in your communities.
The Police Commissioner adds that similar initiatives have been practiced in foreign countries and have proven quite effective in reducing criminal activity.
The Community Police Caravan is one of those avenues. This program has been designated to bridge the divide which currently exists between the TTPS and the community. The Caravan is an aggressive relationship building program aimed at narrowing the gap which currently exists between the TTPS and the community. The program seeks to sensitize persons on the services available from from the TTPS and to foster closer collaboration with the public, rather than just reacting to problems after they become a serious problem or crime. Through the caravan, officers will be able to leverage the relationships they have established, working with the residents to determine the root causes of crime and proactively preventing them before they transform into more serious events.
Veena Bharath, News 4.
Local Government Minister Dr. the Honorable Suraj Ratan Rambachan is calling on regional corporations to take their role as overseers of the various districts more seriously. The local government minister was speaking to specially invited guests for the swearing-in of San Fernando Mayor Dr. Navi Muradali. His statements come just days after taking helm from now Transport Minister the Honorable Chandra Sharma, where he said more was needed to be done at the regional corporation level to address the needs of citizens.
Local Government Minister Dr. Suraj Ratan Rambachan is charging all regional corporations to be more responsible in overseeing their districts. The minister was speaking during the swearing-in of San Fernando's new mayor, Dr. Navi Muradali. He called on all heads of regional corporations to work towards more delivery and action towards all citizens.
The position demands and requires a greater responsibility than perhaps would have imagined on assumption of the position. It requires, therefore, responsibility, responsiveness, accountability, and I would say above all an attitude of problem solving. Recently the Prime Minister, in the reshuffling of the cabinet and reassignment of positions, made the point that delivery is what the population is in fact not getting in the manner and quantity in which they should be getting it. And therefore one of the things I want to urge Dr. Muradali is to emphasize and focus upon action and decision making that results in delivery.
Minister Rambachan's comments come just 1 week since taking over the post at the local government ministry. One of the first issues on his agenda is the setting up of a weekly open day for councillors to meet with corporation heads.
I want to suggest, and I hope it will become a way of life, that 1 day per week be dedicated by every chairman in every corporation and every mayor to meet the people of the areas. In other words, maybe just as we have cabinet days on Thursdays, which is a fixed day, that the mayor of San Fernando can begin by setting the example and declaring that Thursdays will be open day, when from 8 o'clock in the morning to whatever time it takes in the night, the burgesses of San Fernando can come in and they can speak to him, and that he will have a team who will work to resolve the problems of people.
The minister also took the time to thank his predecessor, Transport Minister Chandra Sharma, for the groundwork laid during his tenure as local government minister.
And let me take the opportunity to publicly thank and place on record my appreciation of the work that Mr. Sharma has done in the Ministry of Local Government. He has established a platform upon which I am building and which I intend to use to increase the delivery of goods and services to the populace. I want to thank you most sincerely, Minister, for all of those great efforts, including the work you have done on the reform agenda for local government.
Minister Rambachan reaffirmed his ministry's promise to continue working alongside each regional corporation and getting projects completed in a timely manner. It's expected that later this week the draft policy for local government reform will be completed, which will be followed by a stakeholder meeting for further discussions. Kimberly Ramkalawan, News 4.
News 4 continues after the break. Stay with us.
The iPhone 4S has an all-new camera with 8 megapixels and advanced optics. So it lets you capture stunning photos. And because it's an iPhone, you can do things you never imagined possible with a camera. So maybe the only camera you need is the one on the most amazing iPhone yet.
In our special feature, News 4 takes a closer look at the recently launched Hoop of Life initiative. Hoop of Life is another creative thrust by the People's Partnership government in the fight against crime. The initiative was launched with the assistance of former NBA star Shaquille O'Neal. In part one, we talk with Minister of Sport, the Honorable Anil Roberts, who further explains the initiative.
The appearance of NBA legend Shaquille O'Neal at the Beetham Gardens launch of the Hoop of Life sporting initiative has ignited interest in the program. The Hoop of Life program is a collaborative effort between the Ministry of Sport and the Ministry of National Security to tackle crime with sport among the nation's youth. The initiative is essentially a community basketball competition with a first prize of $1 million. News 4 sat down with Minister of Sport, the Honorable Anil Roberts, to get a more in-depth view into Hoop of Life.
The Hoop of Life program with the Ministry of National Security is an extension of the Life Sport program. While this is an exciting one-off tournament, annually, what it does is create the idea of life sport, in that you're getting communities together, you're competing, you're getting pride of place, you're creating a family. Back in the day, we want to go back to the good old days where there was a family feeling in the community, healthy competition, and most importantly, once the competition gets going, there's no crime. So young fellas cannot go and rob a store or get charged for fighting or assault or anything, because the entire community, the entire team would be disqualified. It's exciting. We're going to bring down people like Dr. Shaquille O'Neal to inspire the young ones, because he came from, poor background. He came from difficult circumstances. He was not the brightest kid in the junior school, but yet he did his undergraduate degree, his postgraduate degree, and he is now a doctor.
Minister Roberts says the services of more stars will be employed to motivate youth towards a positive direction. He also sought to answer the question, why basketball?
Basketball has had such a success over the years because of the ability to garner not only a professional contract in Canada, in Europe, or in the NBA. You also have colleges across the board. So it's really a way to, one, create opportunities for further education, first and foremost, and opportunities to a sustainable future for young people. Number two, in every community, there are basketball courts. There are more basketball courts in this country than any other, more than football fields, netball courts, cricket pitches. Now, some of them are dilapidated, but part of the Life Sport program and part of the Hoop of Life program is to rehabilitate and make sure that these courts are pristine, well kept, and then also to let the communities work on them so that they adopt their courts so that they wouldn't be damaged. And so basketball, because it's all inside every community, anywhere you go, you can find a basketball court.
The sports minister says the metaphorical importance of the name of the program should not be lost upon citizens. He urges parents to realize that poverty is a cycle and sport is a valid way out of that cycle.
And that's the irony. You're talking about hoop, you're talking about basketball, putting the ball into the hoop, but you're also talking about the hoop of life, because it's a vicious cycle that we exist in, because when children are born into poverty and we do not give them the opportunity to excel, and then at 10 or 11, 12 years old, we tell them that they're not intelligent because they failed an exam in math and English and creative writing. That's not good. So what we have to do with Hoop of Life and the Life Sport program is to let these kids know that they are not forgotten and they're not thrown away, and that there's a lot of potential within them. We have to find that potential and bring it out of them.
Join us tomorrow in part 2 of this special feature when we continue to take a more in-depth look at Hoop of Life.
Thank you very much, Gregory McBurney. In other news, public servants are now better poised to serve the people of Trinidad and Tobago who may be affected by a natural disaster. This after the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Management's introduction of a training program aimed at public servants. The program teaches public servants how to be a volunteer and the roles that they can assume with the ODPM in the event of a natural disaster. More in this report from Gregory McBurney.
Minister of the People and Social Development, Dr. the Honorable Glenn Ramadar Singh, says public servants must be able to answer the public's call for help if disaster strikes this country. Minister Ramadar Singh was speaking as employees of his ministry were being taught by the ODPM how to go about assisting the public in obtaining emergency relief and recovery assistance grants in the event of a natural disaster.
You now have responsibility not only for providing social development services, but you have a responsibility for people. And whenever people need you, you must be there. And therefore, it is in cases of emergency and of disaster that people need you the most. That is the time that the people will remember who came to their side. And that is the time that the people will call upon not only local government, not only NEMA, not only works and transport, they will call upon the Ministry of the People, which is a new ministry which is supposed to answer the call of the people.
The minister explains that because of the direction the ministry is heading, the training being given to the public servants is important and needed.
Therefore, what we sought to do at the management level of the ministry is to formalize our disaster response. And so this training session, which involved training in what it means to be a volunteer, the viewpoint of the ODPM, which is very important, the role of the regional team leaders, the role of the volunteer members, the role of the assistant team leaders, confirmation of the disaster teams, how to complete the forms, the processing of the forms. All of this is important that you do in a formal environment as is set out here today, because this is going to be serious business.
Minister Ramadar Singh insists that in the event of a natural disaster, public servants should try not to think about themselves, but about those who are in need of the essential services they can provide in times such as those. He adds that public servants should take their job seriously and serve the public, particularly when the public needs them most.
This country and no country will forgive public servants and politicians for refusing to serve them. The whole dynamics of what is expected of governance is changed. The customer is always the boss. And so the person who is flooded out and requires you to help pump out water from their place needs a mattress, needs a tent over their home, and wants the grants and so on process. That is the boss. That is the person who pays the salary. That is the person who got you recruited. That is the person who caused us to create a vacancy. And that is the person who you and me and we have to serve.
Gregory McBurney, News 4.
News 4 continues after the break. Stay with us.
I bring a message of peace. P-E-A-C-E. It's about patriotism, environment, and citizenship education. Calling you or youths between the ages of 14 to 20. Become a trainee in the Peace Program nationwide.
Just 6 weeks of peace training starting 9 July.
Come join us 2 days a week.
From 9 to 3.
Over the age of 18,
you want to be an instructor in this program?
Your training starts from the 25th to the 29th of June.
Interested in becoming a trainee or instructor?
You can call us at 625-2652 or 625-9557.
Or visit us online at peaceprogram2012@gov.tt.
The Peace Program.
Promoting patriotic citizenship.
An initiative of the Ministry of National Security for the 50th anniversary of Trinidad and Tobago's independence.
The opening of the London 2012 Olympic Games is a mere 23 days away, and the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee is in the final stage of preparation as they go about the task of sending the most diversified team in our nation's history to London. Track athlete Keston Bledman will be a part of that team, And Wayne Cunningham has more on the nation's fastest man.
Keston Bledman won the men's 100 meters at the National Track and Field Championships in a personal best of 9.86 seconds. The talent to reach such a blistering time was recognized almost by accident.
My coach Ganesh Prasad first saw me at Pleasantville Senior Comprehensive School in Sports Day, and right from there he hunted me down because I wasn't really interested in track and field like anything. I was more like I used to be more like more soccer. I just run for track and field for fun because I was faster for everyone else. I could run, but my coach Ganesh Prasad saw me.
As a teenager, Bledman had other sporting aspirations.
I love football. Like running is like it grew on me now. Like I really love it now. But football, like I grew up playing football. I didn't really like go on running, but I could do both though. But I just like running football. Sorry, because I do like shake and do more things on the field with the ball. So but running grew on me and have a big impact on my life now. So I'm happy that I chose running.
The sprinter credits his coach Ganesh Prasad with keeping him focused despite some injury woes.
No, but I used to more work on the grass because I had shin splits and I used to be like slight little injury, and that used to discourage me from coming training because the little pain. And when I play football, I used to get those pains, but pounding on the track and those kind of stuff. So I used to be working more on the grass now and then, 110s, 120, and my fitness was very low. But my coach Ganesh Prasad, he worked with me, he pushed me, he never quit on me, so I've thanked him a lot for that. He just always keep me going. 110 today. So sometimes he'd be like, okay, yeah, 60s, cause I just like the quick short stuff. Yeah, okay, yeah, 60s today, I'll come. When I reach him, nice, you reach 110, 120, 180, 200, and he changed like, gee, you serious? He tell me that it's just 460s, and I try about down here, so I have to do it,
Fellow sprinter Kellyanne Batiste also had a lot to do with Bledman's progress.
This is my third year in the United States, training in the United States, so my first 2 years it was hard. Kelly started to push me, and I said I thank Kelly as well, because she always there, sometimes Kelly, I can't take this, and Kelly, I go back to Trinidad. Kelly, I'm gonna get mad, super mad at me, if she's my mom, you see you, and bowl at me and walk off, and next day I say, oh Kelly, you wanna talk to me, and cause I say everyone just saw my potential, but I didn't really see it until now,
We will all be rooting for that potential to reach its peak at London 2012. Wayne Cunningham, News 4 Sports.
More news after the break.
Homo sapien, we'll call him Mark. It spends its days trying to attract a mate. Success. What follows is a series of celebratory actions unique to this species. Every Homo sapien has their own way of displaying themselves to attract a female. But things don't go according to plan.
Where the water gone?
No water, no love. Pay your WASA bill today.
The Water and Sewage Authority of Trinidad and Tobago. Water security for every sector. Deliver it, sustain it.
Welcome back. Attorney General Anand Ramlogan is urging CARICOM legal heads to come on board in making the Caribbean Court of Justice their final court of appeal as well. In addressing the 16th CARICOM meeting of Legal Affairs Committee, the Attorney General said while amendments to facilitate member states to come on board on a face-to-face basis, more steps need to be taken for countries to access the jurisdiction of the court.
Attorney General Anand Ramlogan is expressing confidence in Trinidad and Tobago's steps towards making the Caribbean Court of Justice its final appellate as one in leading the way for its CARICOM counterparts. The AG was speaking during the 16th CARICOM meeting of Legal Affairs Committee, which is being held here in Trinidad. He called on his regional peers to come up with a phasing out process that will see this come to pass.
There may be creative and innovative options, and I invite my colleagues from the CARICOM region to exercise their minds and put their skills and ingenuity towards achieving a solution for this matter. If Trinidad and Tobago has its way and we are able to access the criminal jurisdiction of the Caribbean Court of Justice, we feel very strongly that it may pave the way for a phased approach that can follow suit in many other Caribbean nations.
A.G. Ram-Logan added that doing this plays an important role in Caribbean unity.
The amendment to the agreement establishing the Caribbean Court of Justice has taken front stage in our regional discussions in recent times. The issue of the abolition or retention of the Privy Council is a serious matter that has engaged us all. It is of particular significance to the Caribbean, as it is indisputable that an regional appellate jurisdiction must be one of the cornerstones of regional integration. The community must therefore take responsibility for the determination of this important issue and for the development of its jurisprudence, as member states are in the best possible position to ensure that jurisprudential development is consistent with regional circumstances and existing laws. While Article 25 of the treaty establishes the appellate jurisdiction of the Caribbean Court of Justice, it is pertinent that we consider an express provision or some form of amendment that would allow for a phased and possible partial approach to the jurisdiction of the court. Only 3 jurisdictions thus far within the Caribbean and the signatories to the treaty have in fact accessed the jurisdiction of the court fully. They are Barbados, Belize, and Guyana.
He says continuous discussions with regional neighbors will not only foster legal frameworks, but discussion in other areas key to the Caribbean's development.
I am certain that the meeting promises lively discussion and meaningful dialogue on a range of issues that will stimulate future growth of the region's supernatural legislature, with specific focus on the pillars of the community, namely economic integration, foreign policy coordination, and human and social development and security.
Earlier this year, A.G. Ram-Logan announced plans to make the Caribbean Court of Justice this country's final appellate court on a phased basis. Kimberly Ram-Calawan, News 4.
Well, that's how we wrap up this edition of our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Nicola Barreto. Thank you for joining us.